Elon Musk has spent nearly $1 billion on a security system that left even Donald Trump speechless. No bodyguards, no Secret Service, just AI, drones, and underground bases operating like a sovereign nation. Join us as we explore the 8 craziest facts about Musk's ultra-expensive personal security system, and the final revelation will leave you stunned. $1 billion for security. Elon Musk doesn't need the government. No one thought someone like Donald Trump, a US president, surrounded by Secret Service agents, the military, and top-secret strategic rooms, could be caught off guard by another person. But he stood there silent. Not in the face of a threat from weapons of mass destruction, but before a security system unlike anything humanity has ever seen. It's a system designed by Elon Musk himself. While other wealthy individuals hire bodyguards and erect electric fences, Musk built an entire defense empire worth nearly $1 billion, stretching from the ground to space. Underground bases are scattered across Texas, Nevada, and private islands, reinforced with military-grade concrete, biological air filtration systems, and drones monitoring activity around the clock. There are no bodyguards here. Only an elite task force, made up of former SEAL Team 6 and Mossad operatives, paid millions of dollars to protect a single man. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. At the core of the system is military-grade artificial intelligence and a private satellite network used to analyze faces, measure body heat, calculate behavioral risks in seconds. Each of Musk's trips is a campaign, a convoy of electromagnetic pulse-resistant Cybertrucks, missile-proof Gulfstream G700 jets, and a secret runway with refueled planes ready to evacuate in minutes. People think Musk is just a tech billionaire. But in reality, he's orchestrating a global infrastructure network: Tesla, energy, SpaceX, space, Neuralink, neuroscience, X, information. And as his influence grows, so do the threats: espionage, cyber attacks, industrial sabotage, and even real assassination plots. So Musk isn't just upgrading security, he is redefining it. He does not live in one place. Instead, he moves between a network of off-grid bases built by military contractors, hidden deep underground or on isolated islands. Each location is protected not for luxury, but for survival. Next, Musk hired cybersecurity firms from Israel and the US to build an AI-powered threat detection system. This system doesn't wait for an attack, it anticipates it. It scans license plates, analyzes heat signatures, predicts behavior, and cross-references data with international watch lists, all in a matter of milliseconds. SpaceX's satellite network provides instant global communication. Neuralink is developing heartbeat verification protocols. Tesla is creating automatic escape routes. And it's rumored that Musk owns a fleet of secret airports, each with planes ready to take off in an emergency, not for a country, but for himself. Even the FBI and federal agencies must be informed about this system, not because Musk is a threat, but because his infrastructure has surpassed part of the state's capabilities. This is no longer a system designed to protect an individual. It is a miniature national model, and it serves only one person. Even personal data does not travel over the public internet. Servers are physically isolated. Internal communication occurs via a private blockchain. Files are encrypted, fragmented, and protected by multiple layers of biometric authentication. Every personal call is encrypted along a random route, making it untraceable. But what makes Trump and the US government take notice is not the technology or the number of people protecting him. It's the mindset. Elon Musk no longer trusts any system that can be betrayed: governments, corporations, or political alliances. Therefore, he isn't building for defense. He's building for survival when the world collapses. This isn't a bunker, it's an ecosystem. And Elon Musk is at the center. Comment Elon Musk if you like him. If Elon is building a system to survive the apocalypse, then the next person is turning an entire kingdom into a living weapon. Mohammed bin Salman, protected like a nation. Mohammed bin Salman is not just a prince. He is the embodiment of power. And in Saudi Arabia, he doesn't hire bodyguards, he builds entire cities to protect himself. Every time he moves, the country seems to hold its breath. Streets disappear from maps. The sky closes in. Foreign airports are shut down. Snipers take up positions on rooftops. Drones circle overhead. Below ground, every system is ready to respond like a living organism if something goes wrong. These are not random measures. They are part of $500 million fortress, designed to control every glance, every movement around MBS. At the heart of the system is the Royal Guard, absolutely loyal, trained to Western standards. They don't just carry guns, they carry facial recognition glasses, encrypted walkie-talkies, and emotional analysis skills. A stray glance, a misplaced expression, can all be flagged as a threat. The palace is not a residence but a military complex. Pressure-sensitive walls, motion sensors under the floors, radar and thermal grids. Staff must undergo comprehensive biometric checks. Every facial expression is silently recorded and analyzed by AI. A forced smile could lead to disappearance. MBS's motorcade is a mobile armed operation, million-dollar armored SUVs with 360-degree bulletproofing, self-destruct mechanisms, and signal jammers. Helicopters and drones escort from above. When traveling abroad, he uses a Boeing 747 with missile defense systems, accompanied by 2 backup aircraft and drones to clear the way. But what's truly terrifying isn't the technology. It's the suspicion. MBS trusts no one, not even his own family. He secretly hires experts from the US, France, South Africa to monitor his own bodyguards. Not because they're incompetent, but because they could betray him. In Saudi Arabia, coups aren't a thing of the past. They're a family legacy. Following the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, MBS never appears without a detailed script. Every handshake, every appearance is meticulously designed to ensure absolute control. From Vision 2030 to billion-dollar projects, he is transforming the entire kingdom into a closed surveillance network. There, his presence is not merely a symbol of power. It is a silent warning. No one is allowed to get close. No one is allowed to deviate. No one is allowed to think differently. Because this is not protection. This is domination. And when political power becomes armor, the next target has no guns, no soldiers, yet still makes the entire world hesitate with just the press of a button. Mark Zuckerberg and the $43 million shield when a CEO becomes an international target. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't just run a company. He controls the world's largest public square, where more than 3 billion people share their thoughts, feelings, dreams, and hatred. And when you wield that kind of power, your enemies don't come from one side. They come from all sides. In 2023, Meta spent over $43 million just to protect one person, Mark Zuckerberg. No tech CEO has ever been protected at this level. But what sends chills down the spine isn't the number. It's how it's being used. Zuckerberg's mansions from Palo Alto to Hawaii are no longer homes. They are fortresses. Infrared cameras, motion sensors, biometric checks. Some rooms have bulletproof glass. And at the main house, there is a secret escape tunnel, allowing him to disappear underground in just a few seconds if something goes wrong. And this isn't just a plan. It's a response to reality. In 2018, a stranger showed up at his home, claiming to want to talk to Mark. He didn't make it past the front steps. But that incident triggered a complete overhaul of security. From then on, the security team was no longer made up of ordinary employees. They were former military personnel, counterintelligence experts, bomb disposal experts, and cyber risk analysts. Their mission is not just to protect Mark from intruders. It is to identify threats before they exist. Because Zuckerberg is not only threatened by stalkers, he is a strategic asset of the digital age. He is sued by dozens of countries, summoned by the US Congress, attacked by the online world every day. Zuckerberg's risk profile is no longer that of a CEO. It resembles that of a head of state. And so, the protection around him is not just bodyguards. It's a global digital network. A dedicated cybersecurity team monitors the dark web 24/7, searching for any signals related to him, his family, or his location. His schedule is not stored anywhere. All plans are only confirmed after he has taken off. Even the devices he uses do not run standard software. Everything is encrypted, isolated, invisible to the outside world. But the scariest part is that the danger does not lie outside. It lies within the company he created. In 2022, a leaked document revealed that Meta was concerned about disgruntled employees with access to the security system. As a result, Zuckerberg implemented internal surveillance, employee monitoring systems, retraining the entire internal security team by former CIA employees. Because in Zuckerberg's world, enemies don't need guns. All it takes is an admin account. But the more protected you are, the more isolated you become. Protected from the world, but also cut off from it. And that is the price of wielding too much power in a world that is too vulnerable. But if Zuckerberg's power lies in data, then the next person to own the national infrastructure will turn their home into an impregnable fortress. Mukesh Ambani, billionaire, turns private home into $2 billion fortress. While other billionaires build mansions, Mukesh Ambani has built a 27-story fortress worth $2 billion in the heart of Mumbai. This is not a house. It is a survival machine designed to withstand terrorism, earthquakes, espionage, and even the collapse of the city. Its name is Antilia, but in reality it has no name. It is a symbol and a warning. Ambani is not just the richest man in India. He controls the nation's economic lifelines: oil and gas, telecommunications, retail, and digital infrastructure. He owns more than a minister could ever dream of. And that's why his home can't be called a private residence. From the outside, Antilia is a palace in the clouds, crystal chandeliers, an artificial snow room, a helipad. But inside, it's a strategic fortress. The core of the building is reinforced with materials used in missile silos, while the electrical, water, and backup systems operate independently. Ambani's main residence is not at the top, but in the middle of the building, surrounded by false floors, decoy areas, and sealed corridors. And the most critical layer of protection doesn't come from private security. It comes from the Indian government. In 2013, following threats from a foreign terrorist group, Ambani was granted Z+ security clearance, the highest level in the country, equivalent to that of the Prime Minister. This means 55 Special Forces officers from the Central Reserve Police Force, CRPF, rotate shifts around his home. They carry Israeli Taver rifles, drive bulletproof SUVs, and are directly linked to local police, military intelligence, and private units. But Ambani didn't stop there. He hired former Mossad and RAW operatives, people who not only guard him but also analyze his psychology, monitor his expressions, and evaluate every glance around him. Every location he visits is thoroughly scanned beforehand. Even the staff in his household must undergo multiple layers of checks. His son's wedding resembled a G20 summit. Bollywood stars and former presidents all had to pass through biometric checkpoints. And when he flies, there is no concept of privacy. Every journey is monitored by the National Air Defense System. His private jet is equipped with jamming devices, encrypted radios, and emergency escape systems. Pilots must practice emergency landing procedures as if flying into a war zone. Even when his family goes for a walk, they are escorted by ambulances, bomb-proof vehicles, and a rapid response team ready to rescue the city. But the most astonishing detail, Ambani pays the government for his protection. Over $20,000 per month, he hires the government, fully funding the Special Forces unit tasked with safeguarding him, creating a model where public and private interests intertwine and power cannot be separated. Many criticize him for turning the state into a personal shield. But that doesn't slow him down. Instead, it has made him an untouchable entity. Because in India, Mukesh Ambani doesn't just influence policy. He can rise above it. And when urbanization becomes a shield, the next person chooses a different weapon, image. He doesn't use guns. He controls every gaze. Bernard Arnault, the fashion king, and his presidential-level security system. In the world of high-end fashion, where a single bag can cost as much as a car, Bernard Arnault is not just a tycoon. He is a living legend. As the head of the LVMH empire, which controls over 75 luxury brands, from Louis Vuitton and Dior to Tiffany, Arnault is Europe's richest man and also the most closely guarded. With a fortune of nearly $220 billion, the most valuable asset he protects isn't money. It's his image. Because Arnault doesn't build with code. He builds with symbols. And in a world where reputation is worth more than gold, even the smallest risk, from a tweet, a photo, to a newspaper headline, is a strategic threat. That's why the security network around him isn't just bodyguards. It's an intelligence machine blending military and media tactics. His mansion in Paris is fitted with bulletproof glass, facial recognition systems, and biometric doors. His chalet in the Alps and his resort on the French Riviera operate as private bases, complete with defensive drones, patrol cars, and armed guards. But the real armor is invisible. Arnault has invested in an internal response unit that operates like a national strategy room. They monitor the press, social media, protest movements, and even industry relationships in real time. Every rumor, every piece of negative news is handled before it becomes a story. When he moves, nothing is random. Decoy cars, body doubles, off-schedule itineraries, every move is choreographed like a political play. Even his private jet is equipped with military radar and encrypted satellite communication. His private yacht has a former French naval commando as an internal staff member. And Arnault doesn't just protect himself with force. He protects himself with influence. He funds political campaigns. He owns newspapers. He has access to the president. When protesters stormed the LVMH headquarters in Paris, riot police responded faster than they did when the National Assembly was under lockdown. In France, there's royalty, and then there's Bernard Arnault. Even within his own company, everything is compartmentalized. Meeting rooms are bug-checked. Visitors are not allowed to bring phones. When a document leaked in 2019, he didn't just fire the person. He dissolved the entire department and rebuilt it from scratch. And if that's not enough to illustrate the level of control, consider this: Arnault doesn't just protect himself. He established a security system for his entire family. All 5 of his children have their own security teams, which coordinate directly with LVMH Security Command Center. Some even receive intelligence briefings similar to those given to government ministers. Because Bernard Arnault isn't just afraid of being robbed or harmed, he fears instability. He fears losing control. He fears the decline of the LVMH legend. And so every step he takes, every handshake, every appearance is protected like a national treasure. But even images can be shattered. Because the last billionaire on this list doesn't need to hide. He erased himself from the map. Larry Page, the invisible billionaire and the fortress no one can see. Larry Page is not the type of billionaire who appears in front of crowds. He doesn't tweet, speak at conferences, or run media campaigns because he doesn't need to. When you're the person who built Google, the global data machine, you don't need a voice. You just need to disappear the right way. Unlike the loud Elon Musk or the spotlight-loving Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Page chose a different path: absolute seclusion, or not to avoid risk, but to transform himself into a living fortress, untouchable, unfindable, and untraceable. From the outside, his life appears simple. No luxury cars, no public mansions, no scandals. But that's just the facade. Inside lies a security system that even government agencies would find daunting. Larry Page's main home in Palo Alto isn't just a residence, it's a covert security complex connected by tunnels between multiple buildings. Cameras don't just record, they analyze movement using AI. The doors use biometric locks. The emergency exit system leads to a self-powered bunker, completely isolated from the outside world. However, that's just the physical layer of protection. The more important layer is digital disappearance. Page's flight records are completely hidden from public data. His personal devices are encrypted by software developed by a former NSA engineer. When communicating, he doesn't use his real identity. Instead, he uses a network of VPNs, proxies, and fake identities that constantly change. Even the people around him, from personal assistants to janitors, must sign numerous NDAs and undergo extensive security checks. Larry Page's life is a maze designed to prevent anyone from tracking him. And it all began in 2010, when Google's involvement in the US government surveillance program was exposed. Since then, Page has become a target. Hackers, foreign governments, and even protesters. Some even showed up at his doorstep. Instead of reacting, he retreated. No press conferences, no rebuttals. He just disappeared. He resigned as CEO and appointed someone else to appear before the media. Then, he quietly built a private security team from intelligence agencies, people who not only know how to protect, but also how to predict and prevent risks before they happen. Even when traveling, Larry Page didn't travel like a normal person. He used disposable devices. He booked hotel rooms under fake names. He planned his trips using software that automatically tracked protests, cybersecurity threats, and other risks at his destination. And then he left the United States. No one knows exactly when. All we know is that he arrived at a place off the map. Fiji. On a remote island in the Pacific Ocean, Larry Page purchased a vast tract of land that no one can access. Local residents confirmed drones appeared more frequently. There were encrypted signal towers and guards in plain clothes, but clearly not ordinary citizens. No iron gates, no walls, only absolute absence. Because Larry Page didn't build walls to hide himself from the world. He built his own world where no one knew he existed. What do you find most impressive about Elon Musk's security? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Like this video, subscribe so you never miss a new story about the world's most fascinating people. Thanks for watching.